All right. DJ Winnie, thank you for sharing. Um, Once again, welcome everyone. Uh, how many folks? We got about 23 folks in here uh, and more. I think we're going to go to the chat. And so if you can, uh, type in the chat box your name, your title, position. If not organization, then your school, and then a word or some words to describe a healthy community, right? So once again, welcome everyone. I am Jonell, the High School Services Director here at the TL Clubhouse. My co-MCs of the day, of course, are going to be our TL Keystone leaders, but I'll be asking some tech support from either DJ Winnie Fan, our High School Services Coordinator, and or our Clubhouse Director, Mike Vong, especially towards the end. But for now, as you're in the room, welcome to the space. And I need your help in, once again, typing in the chat box your name, right, your title, position, or your grade, organization and or school, and then some word or words to describe a healthy community, right? And so, see how this works. Let me try myself. But yeah, please fill out the box. So we got Shada, right, representing high school, middle school, graduate from class of 2020, right, from Gateway. And she's still going to retain at Gateway, going to Gateway High School. Her community word is respect, right? We have Yazaira, a club member. Her word is united, right? We have Carla de Mesa, community development specialist with SF Planning, and a healthy community is about being connected. All right, thank y'all for sharing. Keep on, more of you. I see 24 people in here, and there's more than 24 people that should be responding, right? Cool. Keep on going, keep on going. We got Mr. Kenneth Vong, as we were mentioning to him earlier, our 2020 Tenderloin Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Graduated of Washington. He's also a Keystone member. His word is compassion. Right. We have Brian, right, one of our teen interns, right, from the middle school department. Healthy word for community, trust. We got Mr. Michael Vong, our clubhouse director, sharing different perspectives in a healthy community. Kelsey, our middle school services director, she put the word for a healthy community is woke in capital, right? Paulina, our junior at Sacred Heart, right? TL Keystone president, she put understanding and accepting, right? So good, Melanie, you could type it in. Giselle, right, representing, right, I believe becoming a junior this upcoming fall over at Sacred Heart, right? She is a TL Keystone member and leader. She put the word diverse. We have Emily Tran representing for middle school, right? Marina Middle School, and a healthy community kindness. Abrar representing Laden, right? Middle school member as well. A safe environment. We got Mr. Patrick Roddy, our assistant clubhouse director, and he put down for a healthy community, communication. We got Jennifer Nguyen, an 11th grader this upcoming fall at Galileo. Also our Keystone vice president. She put for a healthy community, teamwork and bonding. Right? Scarlett, one of our teen interns in the middle school department, going to KIP. She put empathy, right? We have Ahmed representing for the middle school space. He put communication for a healthy community, right? Peter, senior year, 12th grade at Galileo. He is also our treasurer. A healthy community is open for change, right? Kumiko, representing for teen intern, a junior at Lowell. She's also a Keystone member as well. For a healthy community, she put honesty. Miss Melanie Martinez, one of our interns, right, for the middle school department, she put for a healthy community, confidence, right? We'll wait, maybe get a couple more, but we're all here today because we're all a part of the community, right? We're a part of specifically our Tenderloin Clubhouse community, and we bring with us all the other communities and our cultures that we proudly represent as well, right? Um, Let me see. How about Winnie? What would you put? I didn't see you type in there. What would you want to put for healthy community? You could verbally say it if you don't type it in, Winnie. We got Patricia, one of our teen interns as well, and putting respect, right, for a healthy community. Oh, Winnie typed it in. Look at this. Our high school services coordinator, DJ, Winnie fan, local Tenderloin artist, um, authenticity, right? So all really beautiful. Thank you all for sharing. We'll have afterwards, right, to get with the chat. But let me get forward and continue to play a pre-recorded presentation from our Keystone leaders about the Tobacco Free Project. Let's make sure that y'all can hear too. So let's see. Mind you, there's internet connection challenges as usual, but hopefully it plays smoothly. We'll see how this turns out.
You're on mute.
Vice President. Hi, my name is Paulina. I am a junior at Sacred Heart Cathedral, and I am the TL Keystone President. Hi, I'm Johnson. I'm a 11th grader at Galileo High School, and I'm currently the TL Secretary. Hi, I'm Giselle Chua, and I'm a sophomore at Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory and a Keystone Leader. Slide. So who we are the club, basically high school youth leadership group that has 4 key areas of focus. One of them being academic success, another one being teen outreach, career prep, and community service. Through the Keystone Club, we build relationships between youth and our community through a series of fundraisers and volunteer events, while also exploring and identifying issues in our local community, such as the tobacco problem. Fundraiser we're working on is our Keystone raffle fundraiser. We've been working on this project for months, and we're going to be selling raffle tickets so we can earn money for our Keystone Club. Overview of the TL Tobacco Free Project. The purpose of this project was because of the strong density and presence of Arab and Arab American families within the TL. We learned about their perspective of how tobacco affected them and their communities. Things that we were able to identify were some ways to improve health, awareness of tobacco in the Arab American community, as well as in youth agency and youth participatory action research. All right, so once again, this was led by our Tenderloin Keystone leaders in collecting and analyzing the data, right? And so once again, the issue really is that in District 6, where the Tenderloin is located, there are at least 123 liquor stores. So when you step out onto the street and you look left and right, within eyesight, you can see a liquor store that is advertising and selling
many different kinds of tobacco products. And for youth and families growing up in the neighborhood, this is so normal, right? Tobacco is so normal to see around when we really don't want it to be, right? And then once again, there is that lack of data, right, about the Arab community, Arab American community, with their familiarity of tobacco, but also their competency and responsiveness of what to do about cessation programs or services for tobacco, how to quit, all of the above. And so this is really hopefully a platform to pivot and put on the radar the need of including the Arab American community when we're talking about tobacco usage and its harmful impact on people. And then, of course, as a youth-based agency, it's no secret, e-cigarettes are very popular, especially the fruit-flavored ones that can be passed off or hidden a little bit more easily amongst our youth, right? And then a lot of our youth in general, they talk about whether seeing peers and or their friends using vapes or cigs on their way to school, in the school bathrooms, right? And so, how do we address that, and how can they hold their peers accountable in terms of there's other things you can do besides trying to be cool or trendy in smoking an e-cigarette. So let's go on to the next slide.
So our guiding questions really looked at and explored the culture and climate of common tobacco products used by whom, when, and where, as well as feelings about tobacco usage in the community, and who and where does the community go for health information and resources. These topics and categories were important because it helped us see the perspective of the Arab American and the youth plus the adults, and kind of if they had a neutral, positive, or negative outlook on tobacco, and if it was very normalized and how that really made them feel going about their everyday life, and if it affected them or not, and whether they could go reach out for help or if it was too difficult to do that. Yeah. We also explored the culture and climate of challenges or barriers that the people and community face, and who should be involved in the efforts to reduce and eliminate smoking in the community, anti-tobacco and smoke and free policies. It was important that we asked these questions because we wanted to know the process what people went through when they were trying to quit using tobacco, and we wanted to know whether the people in the community were being involved and trying to stop the use of tobacco products.
All right, let's get to the next slide. All right, so we're on to the next slide, which is our methods, our methodology. So as a TFP grantee, we went through a training from October to now. So any trainings that I went as a staff, I also took that back and shared it with our Tenderloin Keystone leaders so they could learn the skills and then practice it themselves for the focus groups and eventually during our coding analysis to get to these themes, our findings, right? So one of the big things was our planning and recruitment, right? How to engage with these different focus groups in the Tenderloin neighborhood. And then as well as I go deeper into our coding analysis, which helped us get these themes, right? We had a total of 3 different target groups. The first target group was Arab youth, less than 18 years old. We had a total of 16 participants, but we had to split up the boys and girls, right? Evenly, 8 boys and 8 girls, and had different meetings because culturally they shouldn't be in the same space during these sessions, right? And so to respect that, that's why we did separate groups, and we had Jennifer and Paulina conduct and facilitate those focus groups with the guiding questions, while Johnson helped to take notes. As we moved forward, we were ready for our next focus groups to reach out to 18 to 30-year-old Arabs as well as 30-plus-year-old Arabs, and with a focus on former and current smokers. right? Because many of our youth were majority non-smokers. However, COVID-19 hit, right, which created the safety protocols for us to not be in physical spaces, as well as practicing shelter in place, which means we had to shift towards Google survey forms and reaching out through virtual surveying, right? And we didn't get as much of a response back just because during that same time of COVID, Ramadan was beginning, right? And in terms of Ramadan, prioritizing family rather than trying to just take surveys, right, was a challenge for us to outreach to our youth and families. And many of the families were monolingual, meaning they spoke limited English. And so trying to get their sons or daughters to help translate became quite a challenge as well. And that is why we didn't get as many survey responses. But we did get survey responses, and we outreached through some community support with an Arab translator, Soha. She was a very big help in that process to make sure that the wording in the language was correct, from English to Arab surveys and from Arab to English responses as well. We came out with these 4 themes or findings of trends in the community: managing emotional wellness, identifying access to resources, information, and support, community views on policies and practices, right? And so I'm going to pull in Johnson. What was your thought when you were sitting down from the focus groups? What did you get from the participants, especially the youth participants?
What I thought at the beginning of the first facilitation was that it was going to be a lot more difficult than expected, but overall at the end it was pretty chill, and we were able to get everyone's responses, and that was very helpful with our findings. And eventually we were able to look through all those responses and find some key themes within.
And then I'm also going to ask from our facilitators, which were Jennifer and Paulina, when you were conducting the focus groups for the Arab boys and the Arab girls, what did you feel about their responses in terms of being honest or being open related to tobacco?
I think for the most part they were pretty honest. They seemed to kind of feel comfortable in the space, and I think they felt that they could really say anything without being judged, and that was probably one of the biggest things that we were trying to strive for. Yeah.
I agree with Paulina. I think that they were honest with their answers. They all sounded like they were genuine answers, and that they were, like she said, comfortable with where we were at and with the things that they were saying, and knowing that it'll be confidential.
Cool. And then once again, because we only had 23 participants, this is a small sample population, and so there needs to be further follow-ups or future focus groups, and even more surveys to get a bigger grasp of the Arab American community perspectives on tobacco. All right, let's get ready for the next slide.
Theme number 1, trends into community. Dinah, a 15-year-old female non-smoker, said, I said many people use tobacco products because they're influenced by the community. Sometimes I think it helps people calm down, like once they get hooked, they feel lost without it. And as well as Carl, a 17-year-old male current smoker, said, I say you can't do it for fun, or just for stress relief. Maybe they feel cool, and their friends use it. Some insight from the community are that they are influenced by their environment and community, and they try to do their best to fit in with some of their friends and as well as those they looked up to. They also use these products anywhere at any time, trying to fit in as well. As well as using these tobacco products,
that Johnson points out is the influence of the environment and community. These are learned behaviors and habits that leads towards addiction. And so people want to stop, but it's a challenge to unlearn and change these behaviors and habits because of the hook of tobacco, right? And so we'll continue to explore a little bit more in the next slide.
Theme number 2, managing emotional wellness. A male non-smoker who's 16 years old said, "Yeah, addiction. They're just used to smoking. They act like they can't live without it. They don't function like the way they usually do if they weren't smoking in." And another quote from Mike, 18 to 25, who's a male former smoker, is, "Evening time at home or hookah lounge, unwind from work or school." These quotes are from people who decide to stop smoking or aren't smoking because they're aware of the dangers of tobacco and how it could affect people in general. But they know that they have resources available to them, such as like faith groups or community groups. Some insight from community is it's difficult to change or stop behavior or habits. Also, value words of health professionals and community involvement in programs. Also, they need encouragement for alternatives and have to deal with it on their own personal choice.
Cool. And then on top of that, one of the things with managing emotional wellness from youth to the older age groups was the trust aspect in terms of folks would normally go to the internet or WebMD first because they keep their circles tight and don't trust anyone right away, right? Especially in the Arab American community. They don't know who these professionals are unless they're their direct doctor or primary doctor. So they keep people's at arm's length before they divulge any information about wanting to quit or seek support in regards to their tobacco usage. Right. Let's check out theme number 3.
Theme number 3, identifying access to resources and information and support. The 17-year-old female non-smoker said that, like, I think parents just start playing a big role and they're like open to stuff, whatever, and really like trusted adult and like closer to them. Yeah, because I think they would be more open with that person rather than going to some random group and stuff like that. Because someone will like, I don't have a trust person with them. Smoker stated that in actually the reason why go to they don't just go to the internet and doesn't have any opinions. Auntie, a 35-year-old former smoker, stated that awareness and execution in walking on the streets. So, talks about going to the places that they're here to, not give reasons on the issues they just don't not do it and expect them to listen. So they rely on the internet at the end. These talks about how parents and people around them, like trusted adults, should be playing bigger roles for smokers to going to places that can help them. So they think people around them would be a lot better since they're closer and more trusted. So some insight from the community we got is that we need organizations and groups to smokers, and that we need to show them outcomes and benefits. We also need former users and health professionals and also youth and also smokers.
So what Jennifer is also speaking about is a more hands-on approach, right? Don't just tell people to do it. It's walking them through the process, understanding what is required or what kind of commitment it takes, right, in accessing this support and all this information. And then as well as like showing like really the visceral or physical impact to one's bodies and even mental health, just like this picture picture to the right, the risk from smoking. How do we constantly show that this is what tobacco does, right? And then another one, more importantly, is tobacco. Right? Some other hidden issues that are covered up, and it just happens to turn to tobacco as the vehicle for them trying to have some relief from themselves. So really these other underlying issues that adults and parents and any other caring educator needs to do, not only to engage with the youth, but also even the other age groups as well, from 18 to 30 plus, to really find out what's going on or what's wrong and how they're feeling, right? And how to improve that particular situation. So let's check out the next slide. Theme number 4.
So our fourth theme is community views on policies and solutions. Bob, a 15-year-old male who was a former smoker, stated that anyways, people I know you want to buy flavored puff bars, but then they can't buy them in San Francisco because everything flavored is banned. So they go to Oakland and where else? Lulu, 30-year-old female current smoker, also said that if the stores that sell these things that affect people are shut down, then no one will find the product. No one should be allowed to sell these harmful products for the sake of the people, the environment, and society. So these are kind of two different perspectives on policies implemented to ban flavored tobacco. On one side, there's a teenager who kind of feels neutral about the situation. They don't really think it affects them, and they think that people will find other ways to get the tobacco, whether it's going to a different place or even trying different tobaccos, rather than just e-cigarettes. On the other side, there's someone who's a bit more older and a bit more experienced, stating that they think that this is a good thing because it will reduce the chances of someone becoming addicted, and they just kind of care for their community and the well-being. Some insight from the community, they think that these policies promote healthier decision making, and that it is helpful by advocating and preventing tobacco usage. But on the other hand, some people think that it will benefit everyone, and some just don't care.
So yeah, you could see all these different challenges with the policies that we have in SF and beyond, that they're meant to do well, but at the same time, people will find a way. Once again, everyone's resourceful, especially the youth and young adults, and there's always a way behind a certain policy or law. And then one of the more interesting ones was, if we reduce tobacco, then some people may just pick up another vice, like a more extreme kind of like drug, or even other form like alcohol. So that was just an interesting point as well. And so we have all these different themes, and now we need to really figure out, as these confirm what we know already about big tobacco impact and influence in a negative way in our community, what do we recommend? And so we're going to take a look at the next slide. And so the recommendations that we have during and post COVID-19, right, to combat tobacco, right, the harmful impact and influence of tobacco in our communities, is the city and county of SF needs to invest more money, right, into these health awareness and resources, because then that'll create a cascading effect in terms of for our school and wellness centers to have more capacity to really focus on big tobacco in terms of it as a environmental and health justice issue, not just something for a week or that special presentation for the month, but we need something a little bit more sustained over the course of a school year or over the course of any program in the community overall. And then even more importantly, we need more Arab American advocates and representatives, once again, who reflect and can really connect and relate to the cultural values, language, and practice of the Arab American community. Right? They can get a deeper, rich, and thick description of what folks are really thinking, especially the 18 to 30 and 30 plus year olds, where we had a big challenge in having people respond to our Google online form surveys. And so that is really important to make sure that someone from the community, right, the Arab American community, is hired and is paid and is continuing to do the research to make sure that we're addressing these big issues related to tobacco. And then the other part is we're in a virtual and digital age. And so how are we improving the presence of anti-tobacco messaging and smoke-free policies and messaging on social and digital media platforms? Whether it's TikTok, Instagram, and other forms of like YouTube, how are we using those platforms to really connect with more youth, families, and adults? And then more so being able to translate it from English to Arabic and Arabic to English, because everything is within the tap of your thumb or your finger, on your phone, on your tablet, right? These are ways to share that out and create a bigger impact in terms of this research. And so as we go to the recommendations, let's see what are the real next steps for Tenderloin Keystone Club.
Some of our next steps are, now that we have our own TL Clubhouse YouTube channel,